I'm disrespectful just as like they disrespectful.
You pretend like you hard, but you're not, Ja. You got a $200 million contract, and you want people in the NBA to think you hood, to think you gangster, because you roll with these type of people, bro. You putting yourself in harm's way when you don't have to.
Look, you talking to a guy that got into an altercation with the Grizzlies, but I was up, my ass was on the side.
Ja Morant and Shannon Sharpe are back in the headlines, and it's messy. Ja just blasted Shannon for being a full-on hypocrite after Shannon went off on Tyrese Halliburton's dad. But here's where things get wild. Ja's not letting Shannon forget how he tried to square up with Ja's entire team, and even Ja's dad back in the day. So let's rewind. This whole thing popped off after Game 5 of the Pacers versus Bucks playoff series. Tyrese Halliburton's dad, John Halliburton, got into it with Giannis right on the court. After Tyrese dropped a clutch layup in overtime to win it with just 1.3 seconds left, his dad started waving a towel and cussing Giannis out.
I think, look, if he wants to wave the towel, he's on the sideline, fine, so be it. But when you come on into that playing area, it's like when you run on the football field, back in the day, they used to run the football.
Giannis straight up said John was being super disrespectful, and the video had fans buzzing. Shannon didn't waste a second. On his Nightcap podcast, he publicly slammed Halliburton's dad for wilding out, basically saying it was a bad look all around.
That is right up there with him. The 8-0 run occurred, Greg, in the last 35 seconds.
He even shaded John's apology like it wasn't sincere, but that's when Ja stepped in and let the clip fly. According to Ja, Shannon has no business lecturing anybody about courtside behavior when he once tried to fight Ja's entire squad and Ja's pops. Let's not forget that viral moment with Shannon yelling at the Grizzlies like he was about to throw hands. And now he's got the nerve to scold someone else. Shannon did try to clean it up, saying he technically wasn't on the court when it all went down. But Ja's fans, man, they are cooking Shannon on social media. Folks are saying he's got some serious nerve, especially with all the mess he's dealing with now, including that explosive $50 million lawsuit from a 19-year-old OnlyFans model who says he manipulated her. Like, how you gonna act like the behavior police with all that heat on you? Now back to John Halliburton.
I believe like being humble in victory. That's how I am. Now there's can be a lot of people out there that are like, no, when you win the game, you gotta talk shit, and you know it's a green light for you to be disrespectful towards somebody else. I disagree. I've won the championship. They haven't. Okay, and that doesn't even say anything. I'm not trying to minimize their effort, but I remember when I won, my mom that she's never missed the games from February 11th or 13th when she came in Milwaukee against the Knicks. She never missed a game. When we won the championship, I remember my mom, she was scared to cross. She was like, am I allowed to come and hug my son? I see, except now my brother does media. For this year, he wants to come back and play. But like, except in that, you've never seen my family like see courtside. See, this is not something that we do. We don't. I try to keep my family away from the game. But losing the game, emotions run high. Having a fan, which at the moment I thought he was a fan, but then I realized he was Tyrese's son, which I love. Tyrese, I think he's a great competitor. He was his dad, sorry. Coming in the floor and showing me his son a towel with his face. This is what we do. This is what we effing do. This the F we do. This. I feel like that's very, very disrespectful.
After that chaos, it looks like the Pacers front office had a little sit down and decided he needs to chill. According to an ESPN report, the team asked him to step back from games for a while, and John agreed. He even issued a public apology saying, I sincerely apologize to Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Pacers organization. My actions were out of line and didn't reflect well on the sport or my son. Even Tyrese said he didn't know about the whole situation until after he got to the locker room, but he agreed. His dad was in the wrong, but even after all that, Shannon still couldn't let it go. He went in again on Tyrese's dad, doubling down and throwing more shade. And now Ja is calling him out for playing both sides like it's nothing. So, is Shannon Sharpe being a straight-up hypocrite, or was he just keeping it real? This one's got the internet divided, but Ja Morant's fans wasted no time dragging Shannon Sharpe right back into the mud. They were quick to remind everyone that maybe Shannon isn't the best guy to be throwing stones.
Guess what? John Halliburton, who is Tyree.
Especially after that wild moment when he tried to square up with Steven Adams, the entire Memphis squad, and Ja's own father during a heated courtside blow-up. It all escalated after Ryan Clark went on record saying Tyrese Halliburton's dad should be banned from all NBA games. That's when one fan clapped back online saying, Tyrese Halliburton's dad brings a towel and steps on the court after his son hits a playoff game winner and gets banned. But Shannon Sharpe tried to fight the whole Memphis team and Ja Morant's dad on the court. And he's fine. LMAO, the hypocrisy was too loud to ignore. Another user didn't hold back either, writing, Shannon Sharpe, in his 50s, starting fights with NBA players, chilling with OnlyFans models, leaking 2 X-rated tapes, and still got the nerve to get on national TV talking about Ja Morant and other dudes in their 20s being immature. Fans are not buying Shannon's moral compass act. And just when you thought the tension might cool down, nope. Shannon came for Ja again, this time clowning him over that finger gun celebration during a game against the Warriors. The NBA wasn't feeling it either.
Any concern that Ja hasn't learned his lesson yet?
I mean, he's learned his lesson. He ain't been caught on film holding on.
Well, I know this sounds crazy. This might sound crazy to y'all. But what if gangster? What if he can't stop?
I don't know how many gangsters are that rich.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many gangsters lost $50 million doing non-gangster. It's just, there's just certain things you can't do if your job. Same thing, you know, with me. There's just certain gestures you just can't do.
Yeah, but you see Draymond talking to the ref. He just did this.
Yeah, I did. That's crazy.
They hit Ja with some heat, saying the gesture was inappropriate, especially considering his recent history. See, it's not just about one hand sign. People are saying Ja's been moving reckless for a while now. The first big red flag, when he flashed a gun on Instagram Live while partying at a strip club in Denver, right after a game. That stunt got him suspended and dragged across social media. Ja came out afterwards saying he was getting help, working on his mental health, and learning how to manage stress. But fans weren't convinced, because just a few months later, he did it again. This time he was riding in a car with a friend.
Russell had to get out of the way or it would have been a 6th foul.
Once again pulling out a gun on IG Live. People started wondering, what is he doing? Is he chasing clout, trying to look street, or just making careless choices that could ruin his entire career? Some fans even started saying Ja looked like he wanted to be a rapper more than a basketball player. And let's be real, he's a multi-millionaire with endorsement deals and a massive NBA future. But it's like he's trying to prove something that doesn't need proving, and that energy, it's everywhere, on social media, in interviews, even on the court. Ja's whole vibe lately feels like a persona, like he's playing a character that doesn't really match the guy people thought he was. The cocky trash talk.
And there's a stoppage. You see security patrolling the sidelines. A lot of fans have already started to hit the exits here at FedEx Forum. And they might need to escort somebody out as they're having a conversation with a fan sitting courtside.
That's actually Ja Morant's father.
gun gestures, the bench taunting, it's rubbing a lot of folks the wrong way. And it's not just Ja. His inner circle's making noise too, especially his dad, Ja Morant. T's always courtside, hyped up, yelling at refs, getting into spats with other players and fans. He even got ejected once for losing it on the officials. And that infamous moment between T and Shannon Sharpe? Yeah, that went down during a Lakers versus Grizzlies showdown in January 2023, and it almost turned into a full-blown brawl. Now everyone's asking, can Ja turn things around? Or is he too deep in this street-style image? And should Shannon really be calling anyone out when his own receipts are stacked sky-high? It all kicked off when Shannon Sharpe, who's one of LeBron's biggest ride-or-dies.
Arena. Dillon Brooks was having words with Shannon Sharpe, and Hall of Famer and broadcast.
And you see Steven Adams comes over to protect his guy along with the supporting cast, and then Shannon Sharpe still talking, and Ja Morant's dad comes over.
Told Grizzlies forward Dillon Brooks that he was too small to guard LeBron. Brooks didn't take that lightly and clapped back with some not-so-family-friendly words. That's when Shannon stood up and started barking right back. The scene got chaotic fast. Ja Morant jumped in, Steven Adams pulled up, and even Ja's dad got in the mix. It turned into a full-blown shouting match that needed security to shut it down before it got physical. At the time, a lot of fans actually backed Shannon, saying he was just defending his guy. Shannon himself later said he was standing on his opinion, but admitted it was one of the lowest moments of his life. He regretted how it all unfolded, but now that moment is coming back hard in the spotlight, thanks to his recent comments about Tyrese Halliburton's dad. Shannon went in on John Halliburton for stepping onto the court and yelling at Giannis, but now folks are asking, isn't this the same guy who tried to fight a whole NBA team? Ja's fans say Shannon's got no leg to stand on. Others are calling both of them out, saying neither has the right to lecture anybody about self-control. And the clowning hasn't stopped either. Fans are still roasting Shannon over his leaked drama with that OnlyFans model, saying things like, I know Mr. Shannon Sharpe ain't out here judging anyone on bad decisions. Another fan jumped in defending Ja's dad, saying, so Ja's dad can't hype up his son, but UNC can wild out courtside for LeBron? So what's your take? Was Shannon right to check Halliburton's dad? Or is that wild coming from him of all people? Drop your opinion in the comments. Whose side are you on? Shannon or Jai? Hit that like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.